we've got some serious and breaking news coming from West Africa that could have wide-reaching consequences for Nigeria and the entire Sahel region. So grab a seat and let's talk about this developing story. So here's what happened. On the 8th of December, 2025, a Nigerian military aircraft, a C-130 Hercules, was intercepted and forced to land in Bobo-Dioulasso, which is in Burkina Faso. Now, for those of you who may not know, the C-130 Hercules is a big deal. It's one of the most trusted and important military planes used by the Nigerian Air Force. It's used for transporting troops, moving military equipment, supplies, and even humanitarian aid when needed. So, it's not just any plane. It's a vital part of Nigeria's military strength and logistics. The plane was reported to be flying from Nigeria, heading toward Benin Republic, a neighboring country. But things took a turn when it was caught by the air defenses in Burkina Faso. And here's the kicker. It was flying without diplomatic clearance. Yes, you heard that right. No prior permission from Burkina Faso's government to fly through their airspace. That's a serious breach of international protocol, and it raised a lot of eyebrows in the region. I mean, imagine someone entering your home without knocking. You'd be pretty upset, right? That's basically what happened here. Now, the 11 crew members on board, which included 2 pilots and 9 other military personnel, were detained by Burkinabe authorities. They are being held until Nigeria gives an explanation for why the aircraft was in their airspace without the proper clearance. That's where things get even more complicated. Burkina Faso is a country that has been dealing with a lot of internal instability lately due to rising extremist threats and jihadist violence. So, their air defenses have been on high alert, especially when it comes to foreign aircraft. And trust me, no one is letting anything slip through unnoticed. But it gets even more interesting when we talk about what the plane was actually carrying. According to reports, the aircraft was flying with sensitive cargo that was supposedly destined for Benin Republic. Now, I'm not saying it's anything shady, but sensitive cargo definitely raises some eyebrows. People are asking, asterisk, what was so important that it needed to be transported without proper clearance? Asterisk. Some are even speculating that it could have been military equipment, weapons, or intelligence material. And I can tell you this much. When it comes to international air travel and military logistics, you don't just send stuff like that across borders without a very good reason. Now, why is all of this such a big deal? First off, there's a serious question of trust here. If you're Nigeria, you've got to wonder, why wasn't this flight cleared properly? Was it a simple oversight or something more serious? And if you're Burkina Faso, you're probably looking at this plane and asking yourself, why wasn't there any communication? Why didn't they get permission to fly through our airspace? There's a lot of unanswered questions, and in situations like this, the best thing to do is be transparent. But here's where it gets tense. Burkina Faso isn't the only country involved here. The country is part of a regional security alliance called the AES, the Alliance of Sahel States. AES includes Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger Republic, and other countries in the region, and their primary focus is regional stability and defense. And you know what that means? It means the situation is being watched by a whole bunch of countries. If Burkina Faso doesn't release those 11 crew members soon, it could cause some serious diplomatic problems between them and Nigeria. We're talking about major political fallout, and not just between these two countries, but the entire region could be affected. Also, AES isn't just a small regional group. This organization has significant air defense capabilities, and they've already put their air defenses on maximum alert. So, right now, the skies above Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger Republic are under intense surveillance. AES members don't want any surprises, especially with sensitive cargo moving around in the region. If a mistake is made and a plane gets shot down or something goes wrong, that could escalate into a full-blown crisis. And with the already tense situation in Burkina Faso, it doesn't take much to turn things from bad to worse. Let's also not forget that the Sahel region, which includes Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, and others, has been plagued with instability for years. Extremist groups like Al-Qaeda and ISIS are operating in the region, making security a constant issue. In fact, these countries have been battling insurgents for years, and it's put a massive strain on their military resources. Burkina Faso, in particular, has had a tough time managing internal security, which is why this aircraft incident is getting so much attention. It's like the last thing they need right now is an international incident on top of their domestic issues. But if you think about it, the timing of all of this is even more concerning. Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger are all countries that have seen military coups in recent years. These coups have led to a shift away from traditional West African institutions like ECOWAS, Economic Community of West African States, and towards more localized, military-led governance. The African Union and other regional organizations are watching closely to see how this unfolds. If tensions rise and there's a military response, it could set off a chain of events that destabilizes the whole region. And what does all of this mean for Nigeria? Well, the first thing Nigerians are asking right now is, what was really on that plane? If it was just routine cargo, why wasn't it cleared? Was there a mistake made? Or was there something more covert happening? This isn't just a small incident that can be brushed under the rug. This could have serious implications for Nigeria's international relations, especially if the government doesn't respond properly. If Abuja doesn't clarify the purpose of the flight and the sensitive cargo, it could lead to a massive diplomatic row. And let's talk about the future for a second. If this situation isn't handled with care, it could easily spiral out of control. Burkina Faso is not backing down. They've already stated that they won't release the crew until there's an explanation. The AES is on high alert, and if Nigeria doesn't respond quickly and diplomatically, this could turn into a major regional crisis. And with the fragile security situation in the Sahel, it's not hard to see how something like this could escalate quickly. Right now, we're in a holding pattern. The Nigerian government has not yet commented on why the flight took place without proper clearance. That's something we're all waiting to hear. And until we get more answers, it's hard to say what's going to happen next. The crew members are still being held, and the regional air defenses remain on high alert. So, what should Nigeria do next? Well, the government needs to get in front of this issue. They need to give a clear, detailed explanation of why this flight occurred without diplomatic clearance. Nigerians and the international community need answers, and the longer the government takes to provide them, the more suspicion will grow. It's also important for Burkina Faso and the AES to stay calm. They're clearly concerned about the integrity of their airspace, but we can't let this situation turn into a full-blown crisis. Diplomatic channels need to stay open, and both sides need to approach this with caution. But one thing is for sure, if this situation isn't handled delicately, the entire region could see major instability. What was supposed to be a routine military transport has now turned into a high-stakes game of diplomacy and regional security. Let's hope that cooler heads prevail, and that this doesn't turn into something much bigger than it needs to be. So, as we wait for more developments, I want to hear from you. What do you think about this situation? Do you think there's more to the story than we're being told? Drop your comments below, like this video, and make sure you subscribe for more updates as this situation unfolds. And remember, stay informed, stay vigilant, and keep watching. We're in this together. So, like I said, we'll keep an eye on this, and I'll be back soon with more updates. Don't forget to subscribe, share this video with your friends, and stay tuned. Things are moving fast, and we'll be right here bringing you all the latest developments. Until next time, stay safe, and remember, diplomacy is the way forward. Let's hope that we don't see this blow out of control.